The Hill Cumorah has a wonderful history. This is where an angel of the Lord taught Joseph Smith and where he ultimately handed to him the gold plates.
All right, Travis Wayne Goodsell. The church has come out, Church News, preserving the Hill Cumorah is what's going on. Yesterday's meeting of the prophets has resulted in this action to be taken place. The first part, they're going to remove pageant infrastructure and all other non-historical facilities. Rehabilitate the landscape. And then upgrade the messaging of the hill's historical and sacred significance. In other words, they're again rewriting church history. As I've told you, they keep doing. They just came out with the Saints books, and here they are yet again rewriting the origins of Mormonism. Now, what we know that is being rewritten has already been rewritten is that let's see, this is, where did I see that? Yeah, there it is. It's the Hill Cumorah in Manchester, New York. And the church keeps telling us that it was the angel Moroni, not the angel Nephi. Joseph Smith papers at least acknowledge that it was changed from Nephi to Moroni to correct it. And I've gone over how, no, it needs to be Nephi, not Moroni. There's a specific significance to this. And I've gone over why it was specifically 4 years, just one day each year, and the same year, because that's significant. And what's also interesting is that all apologists for the church are getting slapped in the face. They're going back to what is correct, the gold plates, the 200-pound plates. So, yeah, not golden, the gold plates. And I've gone over in numerous videos explaining the real church history, because none of this happened. There is the Hill Cumorah, yeah, that's what they named it, sure, okay, but there was no angel, especially one named Nephi, let alone Moroni. There was no angel. There needs to be an accurate messaging to correct the church. And nobody but me has done it. Not D. Michael Quinn, who's now the late D. Michael Quinn. Nobody has done it. And I'm getting inspired to actually get back into book writing now because of this. But how long would it take? How long of a book would it be? I don't know. Because if it goes on day after day after day after day, oh dear God. See, in the beginning, when I was publishing books, yeah, I was publishing a book a day. You know, Amazon had it for free, so yeah, I was able to do a book a day. 24 pages was the minimum, and so I was able to put out chapters for things. I was able to put out different segments, and then when I got enough of the segments done, I can then combine them together into a fuller book. The response was not too liked, but oh well. So yeah, there is important historical information that the church is purposely ignoring, and I will again go over it here with you so that you will know. The first is, I can't remember if that, I think that is in the, I'll get a snapshot of it just in case before I leave here. Alright, maybe I should get this also, so I have options for the thumbnail. Alright, so first we need to go to Joseph Smith Sr. And I've done this with you, but as YouTube purposely withholds information from you and attacks me, they've been under a rage today. They did not like the videos I put out since yesterday. That should tell you guys something. If you see that my videos are not doing well, then you need to say they must be damaging to the church. Under Joseph Smith Sr. Joseph Smith Sr. was also a member of the first presidency of the church and a Freemason in Ontario Lodge number 23 of Canandaigua, New York. And of course they have a citation needed, because the church doesn't want you to believe in this. Citations everywhere. Masons have published books on those who were recorded in the lodges. This is where they got it from. It's legitimate. It's for real. You don't need a citation other than to the ones that the Freemasons have made. So the fact that the Mormon who did this purposely left out the citation is appalling. But down in early life, he was raised to the degree of Master Mason. Now you need to find out which rights the Ontario Lodge number 23 of Canandaigua was, and the levels of those rights, because there's a difference. If you're talking about the Scottish rights, then you're talking about 32 degrees, with the 33rd being an honorary level. If you're talking about the York rights, then you're talking about just a few ranks in comparison, 10 or 12, I think 10, the highest being the Knights Templar. Why is this important to know which? Because the Knights Templar pertains to the history of the church, that the church is lying about to you, about gold plates in Egyptian, about being buried in the ground. Joseph Smith even talked about seeing a cave full of treasure plates in Egyptian. If you do not understand the Knights Templar and what they were doing in America, you're missing a whole big part of what the message of the church history the church is not telling you. So here they have the date, which again, why are they that specific? Why are they that specific and not giving us the citation? May 7th, 1818. Master Mason. So here's why we know there's something going on that the church does not want you to know about. Heber C. Kimball. Under Masonry. In 1823, Kimball received the 3 craft degrees of Freemasonry in the Lodge of Victor Flats. Victor Flats is in red. There is no link to it. Did you do your research to find out which level Master Mason is? Third, Heber C. Kimball in 1823 says he was raised to a Master Mason. Did you do your research to know what a Master Mason is and what his duties are? We'll get to that in a second. In 1824, he sent a petition to the chapter at Canandaigua, New York. 6 years later, guess who's still the Master Mason there? Guess what the church is hiding from you? To receive the York Rite degrees. Thanks. Degrees are Scottish rites. The fact that Kimball is putting degrees in his journal entry, because this is where it comes from, and yet there's another publication that also quoted from his journal which has different information. Nonetheless, not necessary. Canandaigua, New York is the keystone of church history. So you're going to have to find a map, Google Maps, and find out where it is. And you'll be surprised. Oh, look at that. And so he says his petition was accepted. But anti-Masons burned down the chapter building in Canandaigua. No records. Oh no. No, we got the records. That's why there should be a citation not needed for Joseph Smith. We have the records from Canandaigua. This is just all lies that Heber is telling us. And so the anti-Mason party that you click on, known as the anti-Masonic movement, opposed Freemasonry. The party was founded in the aftermath of the disappearance of William Morgan. So you click on William Morgan, and you learn about him. He was a resident of Batavia, New York, published a book on Freemasonry after he disappeared. I wonder what that book is all about. Well, what do you know? It's about Freemasonry and the first 3 ranks, including Master Mason. That book's available in a PDF form online. You can read it, download it. You can learn all about the role and the duties of Joseph Smith Sr. as Master Mason in Canandaigua, New York, when Heber claimed he too was a Master Mason, yet went to the Master Mason Joseph Smith Sr. without telling us it's him, and that he was approved for the advancement, which you'll notice was a 4-rank leap. And so here under disappearance, Morgan was jailed in Canandaigua, New York. And when Miller learned of this, he went to the jail to pay the debt and secure Morgan's release. Morgan was released, but then rearrested and charged with supposedly failing to pay a $2 tavern bill. While the jailer was away, a group of men in Canandaigua, New York, convinced his wife to release Morgan. They walked to the waiting carriage, which arrived 2 days later at Fort Niagara. Shortly afterwards, Morgan disappeared. There's more to that story, as I've talked about that too. But did you read the part about the role and responsibility of the Master Mason? That is crucial to the disappearance of William Morgan. Then as you go further into church history, should be here, yeah. Let's see. Members of Freemasonry criticized the Mormons for their adoption of Masonic rituals and regalia. In 1830, Morgan's widow married George W. Harris of Batavia, a silversmith who was 20 years older. And if you don't understand, women were property, and so her husband disappears. How is she going to be taken care of with her child? Children, I think. She needs somebody to take care of her. George W. Harris can take care of her. After they moved to the Midwest, they became Mormons. By 1837, some historians believe she became one of the plural wives of Joseph Smith. No, speculation. No, she did not. She continued to live with George Harris, and after Smith was murdered, assassinated in 1844, she was sealed to him. Wait a minute, I thought she was already one of his plural wives. See, all this is nonsense. There's a whole piece missing here. What about him in Canandaigua with Smith Sr.? See, even this part, the church has stepped in to muddy up the waters. By 1850, are you going to get to the baptisms for the dead? In 1841, the Mormons announced their vicarious baptism of William Morgan after his death. Of course they knew him. Before his wife all of a sudden appears on the scene in the church to join the church as one of the first under the new right to posthumously offer people entrance into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Notice it's entrance into the church, not afterlife rituals. Because we're being told we do baptism and the temple ordinances for our deceased ancestors for the afterlife, not for membership. So that's an interesting twist. That 13, John E. Thompson, February 1985, The Mormon Baptism of William Morgan, wrote about. You can't put too much trust in authors. You put trust in the research. Canandaigua is now connected to 3 different people in church history. And the church won't tell you about it. And so, yeah. Like I told you, the church has to rewrite history in 2024. Their reasoning is to do away with all of it. Yes, they have to talk about the plates for now, but eventually they're going to have to drop it because too much information is coming out exposing the church. But it is interesting that having recently done that video, again in a different form, and yesterday being the Thursday meeting, that they came out with this, that they've decided to alter the story of the first vision and receiving of the plates. Well, it's the plates, not the first vision. But yeah, so again, having told you about what happened, who then is the messenger with gold treasure plates of Egyptian buried in the ground that follows the Knights Templar of the Yorkites, where Joseph Smith Sr. is the Master Mason? And then you got to wonder, well, why wasn't Joseph Smith a member of that lodge? Hiram was a member of the lodge in Palmyra. It's because you can't have family in the same lodge. They can visit, but they can't become a member. So Joseph Smith has an option of going to the Palmyra Lodge with his brother, but only attending, or does he attend with Daddy? In 1818, Joseph Smith is 13 years old. 1823, Joseph Smith is finally an adult. Not back then, though. I don't think the amendment to turn it to 18 was not until the 1900s, wasn't it? Not sure. Something you'd have to check. But he's 18 now. He's about to enter into his life as a man, separate from his family, go start his own life. But something happens in 1823. And I've gone over the Harmony, Pennsylvania scandal. That Harmony is not Susquehanna River. It's north of Pittsburgh. Because it was no longer called Harmony when the Smiths arrived in New York. So by the time he's 18, it's been years since it was called Harmony. Those are crucial things that historians are purposely missing not searching for, that the church purposely doesn't look for. They can't look for the truth. If they look for the truth and find it, we're going to have another September 6th on our hands. And so you get Curtis as the church historian because he can be loyal and reliable to cover up the big lie. So obviously there's more I've been trying to tell you in all my videos, and I desperately want to get it all out now, but I can't. We're already 25 minutes in. Don't trust the church. They're covering it up. Canandaigua is the keystone that exposes the church.